Fake news. You've heard it, you love it, but who coined it? It wasn't Trump, it was Hillary.
It's now clear that so-called fake news can have real-world consequences. This isn't about politics or partisanship. Lives are at risk.
But Hillary wasn't a saleswoman. Trump turned those two words into a campaign slogan.
President-elect.
Go ahead.
President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization,
not you.
Can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You
is
are
terrible.
attacking our news organization.
Your organization
Can you give
is
us a
terrible.
chance
Let's
to
go.
ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir,
Quiet.
Can you state,
Quiet.
Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Can you state
She's asking a
categorically-
question. Don't be rude.
Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude. No, I'm not going to give you a question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
And whenever Trump said fake news, the media wailed, which meant it worked. Since they're all talk, no action, Democrats know the power of words. Last month, Trump said there'd be a bloodbath in the auto industry from China dumping cheap cars through Mexico behind Biden's back. And suddenly, the bloodbath hoax was born. And just like last time, Trump flipped it and branded them with it. Today, the former president in Michigan at an event he called Biden's border bloodbath.
I stand before you today to declare the Joe Biden's border bloodbath, and that's what it is. It's a bloodbath. They tried to use that term incorrectly on me 2 weeks ago. You know, it's all about misinformation. It's a border bloodbath, and it's destroying our country. It's a very bad thing happening. It's going to end on the day that I take office, which will be January 20th. It'll end.
Donald Trump's turning disinformation into information. Here's the proof.
A 25-year-old Michigan woman named Ruby Garcia, who's become a very well-known name, beautiful young woman, was savagely murdered by an illegal alien criminal. Under the Trump administration, this monster had been deported, thrown out of the country, wasn't going to be able to come back, and crooked Joe Biden took him back and let him back in and let him stay in, and he viciously killed Ruby.
25-year-old Ruby Garcia was found riddled with bullet holes on the side of a freeway. An illegal alien killer let in by Biden. And just like Lake and Riley, the White House was caught flat-footed.
There's another case of somebody who was in this country illegally, allegedly murdering a young woman, this time in Michigan. Her name was Ruby Garcia. Donald Trump is out there now calling this Biden's border bloodbath. What do you call it?
Well, first of all, while I'm not aware of the specifics of this case, I mean, that's just terrible news. And our thoughts and prayers obviously go to the family of Miss Garcia. I mean, that's the kind of news no family ever wants to get, ever.
Biden's bloodbath at the border is seeping into the swing state suburbs, and his team's clueless. Trump actually deported the illegal, but Biden let him back in to kill Ruby. Trump's platform: clean up Biden's bloodbath.
On day one, I will seal the border and will begin the largest domestic deportation operation in the history of our country. And if other countries say they won't take them back, we're not going to take them back, I will say that, yeah, here they come. You're just going to hold on to your britches, because here they come.
While Trump tries to stop the Biden bloodbath, the media says Trump will create an imaginary one.
The difference between religion and a cult is in religion, your savior dies for you, as Jesus did. In a cult, you're asked to die for your savior. And, you know, what Donald Trump is doing, it's equal parts the power of positive thinking, which is the church, to the extent that it's a church that he grew up in. But it's also, it's kind of David Koresh. It's kind of Jim Jones, because those two men started by saying you need to come to Jesus. They started as Christian evangelizers, but eventually their evangelism said, no, I get to have your wife. No, actually, I get to tell you to kill these federal agents that are outside. I'm asking you to pick up a machine gun and shoot them because I don't want to go to jail.
These people have a blood fetish. They have to fantasize about future Trump bloodbaths because they can't face the Biden bloodbath today. They're disassociating themselves from reality to avoid accountability and brainwash their voters. They've OD'd on the Kool-Aid so badly, they believe their own hoaxes. Trump today, transitioning Biden's democracy hoax. Watch.
I heard somebody say it, a scholar say it 2-3 days ago, said, if we don't win, This may be the last election our country ever has, and there could be truth to it. That's where we're going, because Joe Biden is a threat to democracy. He's the threat to democracy.
Both men running against Biden say he's the threat to democracy.
I can make the argument that President Biden is a much worse threat to democracy. And the reason for that is President Biden is the first candidate in history, the first president in history that has used the federal agencies to censor political speech, so to censor his opponent. President Biden, for the first president in history, to use his power over the Secret Service to deny Secret Service protection to one of his political opponents for political reasons. He's weaponizing a federal agency.
CNN anchors are so useless and overpaid. Producers now have to fact check their guests after they've left. Watch.
He asserted that President Biden has denied him Secret Service protection in this election. First of all, there is no evidence that President Biden has been at all personally involved in decisions about who should and should not get Secret Service protection. He also claimed that President Biden has been personally censoring him. We know there is a controversy about White House communications with social media companies about what posts and accounts should remain up or not. There is no evidence that Biden has been involved whatsoever.
All right, CNN says Biden's not personally involved in the Biden administration. CNN doesn't fact-check Democrat guests, only Republicans and independents. Oh, and only after they've left and can't respond. What a chicken way of doing the news. You don't debate or have a conversation live. You slap the guests with fake fact checks on their way out and then hold their noses up in the air. Since they can't air the truth, they control the storyline, and they've lost control of it. From Bloodbath to democracy. Last night, Hillary tried framing the election like this. Both guys are old, but you can't vote for the one we indicted.
What do you say to voters who are upset that those are the two choices?
Get over yourself. Those are the two choices. One is old and effective and compassionate, has a heart, and really cares about people. And one is old and has been charged with 91 felonies. I don't understand why this is even a hard choice, really. I don't understand it. But we have to go through the election, and hopefully people will realize what's at stake, because it's an existential question. What kind of country we're going to have, what kind of democracy we're going to have. And people who blow that off are not paying attention, because it's not like Trump, his enablers, his empowerers, his allies are not telling us what they want to do. I mean, they're pretty clear about what kind of country they want.
Pay attention to what Hillary didn't say. She didn't say this election is about, are you better off? She didn't say anything about their records or their policies. She said the old guy cares. And there's no evidence he cares. That's another hoax. Show me you care and stop the bloodbath. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.